Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, if you've watched this show for any length of time, you know I love entrepreneurs and I love people who go out there and reinvent their industry. And a couple of people who are doing that right now, Sergio Prieto and Amanda Melville, they are with Mayan Technologies. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Sergio, let's start with you. Tell us about Mayan Technologies.
Well, we're Mayan Technologies, a software consulting firm. We operate on the enterprise solutions space and also provide custom software and outsourcing solutions for our customers.
And most people are familiar with QuickBooks. How are you different than QuickBooks?
Well, we offer a full ERP package, which basically ties your accounting with all the rest of your operations, manufacturing, shipping and receiving, payroll, everything gets embedded into one single package.
And I'm so impressed with your company because it's growing by leaps and bounds. You now have operations in Canada, the U.S., and in Mexico. Amanda, you joined the company about a year ago.
I did. And even from February when I joined, I mean, we have just grown so quickly, our clients, employees, everything. So it's an exciting time to be a part of the company.
Amanda, what kind of clients do you guys like to work with?
It really depends on the size of the company. We go anywhere from probably about 50 employees. Revenue size, we try to stick around 5 million and more.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And are you finding that when you're approaching these clients for the first time, do they understand how you guys are different and what you offer that they're not used to having?
Sometimes, depending on the size of the company and depending on the person who is behind the whole idea of upgrading to an ERP. Sometimes there's a lot of education that needs to happen there to explain to our customers why they have to make that jump and going from QuickBooks to a full ERP. And sometimes there's, the CFO or the founder is somebody who's coming from an entrepreneurial background. They have some education there on the accounting principles and the operations that they do know we need to make that step. We need to make that. It's like graduating from QuickBooks and going to a full ERP.
Now, a guy like me, I'm a CEO, and I probably need you, but I wouldn't even speak your language. I wouldn't know what it is that you do. So I would have to introduce you to my son, who speaks geek. Do you find, Sergio, that most CEOs understand what you're offering?
Sometimes it's a mixture. Depending on the industry that they're at and depending on their background. But a lot of times you usually have the CEO or the CFO is running the project, and that's the person it's really saying, hey, we need an ERP. And they usually have somebody with a certain level of technology knowledge or background that will be, kind of pushing things forward.
Amanda, tell us about COVID and how that impacted your clients.
Yeah, we grew through it. Not only did we become fully remote, but a lot of our clients did as well. So we kind of had to adapt to how they had to change, and we came up with different ways with software to help those businesses grow through COVID. We customized software, so that was kind of, people needed customizations all throughout the year with changes, so we were able to help that way.
Now, is it a challenge, Sergio, when you're working with teams from Canada, the U.S., and Mexico?
Yes, there's definitely a challenge. There is not as much of a cultural challenge because the Canada, U.S., Mexico, they share a lot of cultural aspects. So that side of this aspect it's not as bad. It's fairly transparent, but definitely time zones are an issue. The fact that there's a language barrier sometimes that we gotta work with. But we have been able to work that out pretty well.
One of the coolest things about your company is it's very philanthropic. In fact, we've got some pictures from your Facebook of a toy drive. Amanda, you want to take the lead on that? I think you were doing this fundraising effort in all across North America.
Oh my gosh, yes. So this one right here is the toy drive that took place in Mexico.
Yeah,
I'll let
that
Sergio-
tour was in Mexico. We have done that for the past. We have an initiative within the company. It's called the Open Heart Initiative, where we basically, have all of our employees pitch in, and we as a company obviously pitch in, and we have to try to get our customers involved. This is in Mexico with an organization called Mediador. And that picture that we just had now is from Children's Dallas. So this is the first year we had it at Children's Dallas. My son was a liver transplant recipient at Children's Dallas last year on 2021. So we spent about 2 weeks at the hospital, and we've been there in and out for 4 years now.
Wow.
So it had a very personal impact for us to try and be involved with children's.
Absolutely. Amanda's smiling over here. Do you recognize some of
am.
them?
That it made my heart happy. I was lucky where with not only did we get to participate in this amazing opportunity, and Axel, his son, how it's close to their heart, but we've gotten close with their family, and I got to bring my fiance and my son on this and got to see how many donations our community brought together. I mean, we were all emotional dropping off the donations because it was a lot more than I think we pictured we would have. We had 3 vehicles full of donations.
And I love it that you actually roll up your sleeves and got in there, because sometimes companies will have a philanthropic effort, but it's just like the employees getting money deducted from their paycheck, and they never actually see the people that they're helping.
Yeah, definitely. It was for us. It was very, very personal, and it was very nice to be at the hospital doing something different than what we usually do when we go to the hospital, and giving back to the place that has given so much to us as a family.
How's your son doing?
Really well. Yeah, really, really well. It's the change. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we only have about a minute left, so I'll give you both kind of a final word. Amanda, what do you want people to know about the company?
I think the one thing that I will say about this company, and compared to ones I've worked in the past, is when they do a project and we're working on an implementation, they truly care and they want to help. Your business is calling us because you have a need and you're trying to fix something that's going wrong and you need to update or whatever it may be, and we're trying to genuinely help you and help grow your company. And I think that's not very common with businesses anymore. So it's nice to be part of that team.
Yeah.
Sergio?
Same. If kind of being super simplifying here, if your business is operating using an accounting software that might not be up to your standards, you're struggling with your operations, you're struggling to keep track of your costs, your expenses, and really optimizing what you need to do there, you probably need to look into an ERP and need to operate your software there.
Outstanding. You guys have been amazing guests. Thanks for coming on. And we're going to end with your website, which is MayanTex.com. Amanda and Sergio, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.